The NPP has since 2012 repeatedly aroused the conscience of the citizenry about the failures of the NDC government and further give alternatives to address the plethora of quagmires facing our people. Whenever we have done so, government has unleashed its attack, including some ministers, NDC communicators, to scavenge the opposition NPP. Interestingly, this is our land. It is an invaluable treasure to us. Blood was shed to protect it. It is now our turn to continue on that path. Dishonesty, lies, propaganda, sophistry, subterfuge, political chicanery is causing a wreak of havoc on our nation. This is the level of distress, despondency, exasperation, and encircling gloom afflicting our nation. Fortunately, we have a transformational leader in Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It's yet another edition of the Minority Caucus. We will be right back. Good evening, Ghana. My name is Eko Vincent Asefwa. Today, we are dealing with a topic, Central Region in Perspective. Some few weeks back, we heard that the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, visited the three northern regions. He first visited Upper East region, came to the northern region where he spent about 4 days. He visited about 17 constituencies in that particular region, and he ended in the Upper West region. But before then, somewhere around the 18th of June and 16th of June, respectively, in 2016, he visited the Central region. Today, I have with me the Central Regional NPP Communications Director, Mr. Techi Mensah. Techi, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
This is Minority Caucus. Today, we are going to deal with the fact that the president is in the Central region. Some people are saying that he feels jittery because he just ended his campaign launch in the Central region. What has necessitated his visit back to the Central region?
Thank you, Eko. Let me take the opportunity and greet our viewers out there, especially viewers in Central region and Western region. Eko, I also bring viewers greetings from the president in waiting, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He says that I should greet viewers in Central region, Western region, and the whole country for him. Eko, as you did say, or as you rightly said, the NDC, especially the presidential candidate of the NDC, the president, I think that he is panicking. Because last Saturday, during the Fetu Afashe, the regional minister made a statement that he has been in office as regional minister for 6 months now. And since he became the regional minister, the president has been there 6 times before coming for this campaign tour.
Right.
Which is averagely, the president has been coming to Central region, especially Cape Coast, once in every month.
Right.
And it is not for any reason. It's because the NDC sees that they've lost Central region.
Right.
In this year's election. You see, Central region has become the battleground. And since '92, the party that wins Central region wins the national election. And this year, the group of Central region have shown the way. And what is that? Change. Change. That's all that they are calling for. And it's not just sitting here and saying that they are calling for change. It's as a result of what we've put on the ground and the feeling within the region. Right. And this could be felt when Anado came to the region for his campaign tour from the 16th to 20th of June 2016. I cannot talk about all the places that he went, but let me take some few places out. Right. One particularly that I want to talk about is Mori. That is the hometown of the vice president, Parkwese Misanta. In 2008, I followed Nadu to Mori 2012, I followed Nana to Mori. And 2016, that's on the 18th of June, I followed Nana to Mori. And what we did experience this year was surprising.
Okay.
Nanado was in Yamransa before going to Mori. So the moment we go to Mori Junction, the crowd,
it was a mammoth crowd.
Mammoth crowd. These were people who had walked all the way from Mori town to Mori Junction just to welcome Nanado. There was no busing. Voluntarily, on their own, they came to Mori Junction. When we got there, they said, Nanado, we will not allow you to drive through to Mori. We want to walk with you from Mori Junction to Mori.
Right.
Well over 2 hours, we had not reached Mori. And we were surprised. We were asking, is it Mori that we've come? Is it really Mori? When we got to where we were meeting, it was very shocking.
Okay, Techimensa, you see
and
that.
It's all because of the way Muhammad and the NDC have filled the fisher folks. On Sunday, that was on the 19th of June, Nanado went to Abura Methodist Church. And when Nanado came out, with the crowd, we could not control them. Nanado had to address them. And whoever is my Facebook friend can go to my Facebook and see the pictures. And on Tuesday this week, I was in Abura to see how the president was going. And it was very pathetic. I've put the pictures there. When the president got to Abura, Cape Coast North, the crowd, it was just a handful of people. So he had to walk through Abura Street to where we have the wood dealers around the Cape Coast Stadium, just that he could bring some crowd to the school park. But that also did not do the trick. And I took pictures. And that tells you that the people have lost faith in John Dramani Mahama. Because in Abura, Cape Coast North, the main problem has to do with electricity tariffs.
Right.
Cape Coast Polytechnic is in Cape Coast North. And they've been in darkness. The electricity has been disconnected for about 2 months. It's all today I'm hearing that there has been some arrangement and they've been reconnected. Cape Coast Stadium is in Cape Coast North. And they have been disconnected. And you heard it. For 7 billion oz, they've not been able to pay.
Right.
So when you go to Abra and instead of you telling that something about how you're going to reduce electricity tariffs, you are promising one house, one electricity meter, that means you've lost touch with the people. You've lost touch with the people. Because that is the cry, that we cannot pay electricity bills. Prepaid is a problem. That people who are depending on electricity for their work, barbers, hairdressers, coastal operators are all crying. People are losing their businesses. All because of bad policies under Mahama. All because you've imposed huge taxes on electricity tariffs. We've this American plan that we could have bought for $350 million. We bought for 510. And the finance will say, Kabar. The chief will say, Chobo. That's $160 million. And all these have been added to the tariffs that we are paying. Right. And it has become unbearable. And instead of the president telling us that he has measures to deal with all, he's going to reduce them, as the Nadu has promised, he comes and he's promising 1 house, 1 meter. All this while, we have electricity in Cape Coast North and in Cape Coast in general. And the people were not complaining under Kufuor for electricity tariffs. They were not complaining under Atamos. By your time, there's that complaints. Right. So, what you want here? That's why I'm more fatter.
Okay, Tachi, you mentioned
the tax is to reduce it.
You mentioned the fact that there are some concerns with the fisher folks. President has failed the fisher folks. What do you think that are the general concerns of our fishermen in the central region?
Well, thank you. That one even is not for me to say it. I think the best person who could have painted a picture would have been the central region chairman of NDC, Bernard Aleti Jacobs. Last year, that's 5th August, he granted interview to Joy FM. And he said that before that, he had granted interview to ATL FM, who is a local radio station in University of Cape Coast, and said that the Landing Beach Committee members are NDC people.
Right.
And for that matter, when he granted interview to Joy, said these people have been smuggling Agbo motor to Cote d'Ivoire and premix to Cote d'Ivoire.
Right.
So your own members, this come from NDC regional chairman, and which vector is more serious than this come from the regional chairman. The fishermen have been complaining of the unavailability of Agbo motor.
So that's a challenge.
Even when they have money, they cannot get it. And the one on the market too, the price so exorbitant. And the NPP, the Minister of Agri or Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture will order the Agbo motors from abroad. When they bring it, the fisherman who's coming to buy will go and pay the money at ADB, and you go to the ministry's depot for one.
Right.
But under the NDC, it's a cabal of some NDC fishermen who are going to Japan, and I mean they have some a depot at Medina, and they are selling it and making their own profits. That under NPP, when he came into office, one Agbo motor was selling for 1,616 million OCDs. When we were leaving office, it was 2,950. That's about 70% increase in price for the whole 8-year period. From 2009 to 2016, now the price has shot up from 2,050 to 12,500. That's over 300% increase in price. Premix is unavailable. Fishermen are complaining. Even the letter that they bring, these NDC landing beach committee members will share among themselves, and they will rather sell it at cutthroat price to these fisher folks.
And so
that the fishing industry has collapsed under John Dramani Mahama, and when we look at Ghana's Statistical Service figures, on several occasions that the fishing industry has registered negative growth under John Dramani Mahama. That to the extent that today, you allow these fisher folks to go through such stress, such serious economic problems, and because of election 2016, you are now going around sharing Agbo motors to some NDC fishermen. Look, in Mori, we have over 200 fishermen. So if you go and give them 30 Agbo motors, what are you doing? That if you had put in place prudent economic measures, you have put in place measures to stabilize the seeding so that the price will not be so high, and ensure that you put in measures in place to ensure the growth of the fishing industry so that the fishermen will go to fishing and get a bumper harvest to sell and get money. The fishermen could have bought the Agbo motor on their own, not sitting down for 4 years before you go and give 2 or 3 people Agbo motors. Does that solve the problem? Does that solve the problem? That does not solve the problem. That's why Nana is saying that under his administration, he's going to establish what he calls the Coastal Line Development Authority. And they will be in charge of all the problems of the fishing communities. That we will not sit down for 4 years, and that's why we are going to share Shasamo. I hope you know that basin.
Yes.
Shasamo.
Yes.
Shasamo much is Shasamo. That if indeed the economy is so well, doing well, and these people, the business is going well, they could have got someone to buy that Shasamo on their own. But you see, the defeat of the NDC in this year is like the fancy will say, Otida Bufroba or Yera Obogu.
Right.
On Fondo Shepop Nukutoku. Right. The people of Central Region have made up their minds. And no matter the times that Jomama comes to Central Region, they are going to vote against the NDC.
Can you juxtapose that claim with the fact that the president, over the years, the president and the NDC communicators, if I should say, over the years and months, have been telling the people of Ghana that they've built Commander Sugar Factory, they've built Cape Coast Stadium, they've built Kotokraba Market, and for that matter, they deserve another term from the people of Ghana, and for that matter, specifically, let me say, from the people of the Central Region.
Thank you, Eko. If it's about the development for Central Region, I think that what the NPP did for that 8-year period is unparalleled. Eko, though we did this with the 20 billion revenue that accrued to the NPP within the 8 years.
Right.
Mahama, now this NDC has gotten over 200 billion for the 7 to 8 year period that they've been in office. So if it's anything, they should have done 10 times what the NPP did for the people of Central Region. What did the NPP do? If viewers will bear me out, before NPP came into office, the Accra Yamurasa Road was a death trap. And if you remember, there was a time, there was this Brig Girls Form 1 student who joined her colleagues for excursion.
Right.
And because the road was very bad, she got involved in an accident and died.
Right.
When Kufuor came into office, within the first term, they started constructing the Accra Yamurasa Road and asphalted it. Right from Malam to Nyamorasa, they asphalted that road. And you've seen it. NDC should tell us which road in Central Region that they've done within the 8-year period that they've been in office that can be compared to Accra Yamurasa Road that was done by the NPP. Before NPP came into office in 2001, water was major problem in Cape Coast and its environs. And they say water is life. When Kufuor came into office, he sank 40 million euros to construct new water headworks at Setrahiman, and that serves part of Western Region and part of Central Region.
Right.
Before we came into office, the University of Cape Coast Polytechnic, and secondary schools within Cape Coast had to vacate earlier because of water problem. Under the 8-year period of NPP, we never experienced water problem in Cape Coast and its environs. Not only that, the Befikrom Water Headworks, which is close to Mankesim, Kufuor invested and expanded it. That part of the Kumfi could get water from Befikrom.
Right.
That of Konyaku in Aguna East, Kufuor sank money and expanded that one. So all the 3 major water headworks in the region were touched by President Kufuor.
Right.
Then you should tell us what they have done in terms of water provision within a region that can be compared to what the NPP did. They are talking about SHS that they are building. They should go to Adnaman. That's Kufuor's model school. Go and look at the buildings, the facility that was put in place by the NPP. More than their SHS that they built at Otom. Go and look at Tufupraso Senior High. That was built from the scratch. Go and look at the facilities. Teachers' accommodation, library, classroom blocks, a lot more than these senior high school that they are building. Go to Aguna Yankrom Senior High, the buildings that were put up there. Not only that, we built medical school in UCC, put up medical hostel, and I have stayed in medical hostel before. Not only that, Tufupraso nursing training, Dunkofi nursing training,
right.
And we put up an ultra-modern trauma health center at Winneba. That's 18 million euro project. The NDC should tell us the health facility they put up in Central Region within this 8-year period that can be compared to the Winneba Trauma Center. Upon all this infrastructure, a lot. If Nomabo Town Rose, Town Rose, a lot that we did. But I can't cite all of them here.
Right.
But we also touch on the welfare of the people. Because in 2008, John Dramani Mahama said that as for schools, every government can build. As for roads, every government can construct. But it's about what is in the person's pockets.
Right.
So, Kufuor said that, as a married couple, you've met a lady, you've proposed to her, she has accepted your proposal, you've done something, she has taken seat. Kufuor says that, that woman should go to hospital free. That's free maternal health care.
Right.
And upon her delivery, you pay 15 cedis or 20 cedis, you get for health insurance, the woman gets health care free. The baby gets health care free. That's health insurance. If you're in a community where there's school feeding, the child starts going to school, government school, the child gets 1 hot dish a day. That's school feeding program. When the child is going to school and there's a Kufuor bus passing, the child stops the bus, or you stop the child at the bus for your ward, he or she takes to school free.
Right.
Then when the person grows, even going to school, the Kufuor says, I will not allow that child to pay school fees in government school. That's a capitation grant. So that was 3. So if you have 5 kids in school, that's about 15 at that time. That's 150 at that time. Right. It was a keep it. use it for something else. Kufuor did it. Then, after school, there was this youth employment program.
Yes.
That has become an avenue for chop under John Dramani Mahama.
Right.
2012 alone, over 2 trillion OC was sunk into so-called JIDA. What came of it? JIDA. 2 trillion OCs. Now those monies could have been used to do other things to employ people. Today, what are we saying? That somebody who could not even revive JIDA is now saying that they should vote for him to become MP for Cape Coast North. Talking about Kobia Champon.
Right.
Now, before did all these things, and today, when the minister went to Parliament for this budget review, I saw he said JIDA is now employing about 40,000. Meanwhile, in 2009 budget, that was read by Dr. Kopner before, they themselves said that under youth employment, those who are benefited were over 100,000. So if indeed you are better Ghana, you should have employed about 1 million. What are we seeing today? JIDA has collapsed. Health insurance on its knees. How about the school feeding? So apart from the infrastructure that Kufuor put up in central region, we also benefit from these social policies.
Okay.
Even there were some villages which were even enjoying this Kufuor bus, metro mass transit, that they were going to the villages to cut agricultural produce marketing centers. Places like Abakrampo or Jumasi. Today, that thing is not in existence. It was helping the rural folks. Today, it is not in existence. So if we are talking about development, then the NDC cannot compare themselves to the NPP. But now I said, the president said it was an exercise in mediocrity. So I have to also do that thing. But, you talked about Commander Sugar Factory. I think it will go in Guinness Book of Record that that's the only factory that has been commissioned in this world. Right. And within just a day, they said it was undergoing routine maintenance. Right. A factory that had not even produced a cup of sugar. Why should it undergo routine maintenance? Just last week, it has been advertised that investors should go and buy 70% of Commander Sugar Factory. Because the very issues that they raised when the thing was commissioned, they denied, is now staring them in the face. As we speak, there's no source of sugarcane for the factory. When President Mahama came in 2014 and cut the sword, he did promise that by the time they commissioned the factory was going to have its own sugarcane. Where is it? There's no drainage system in place to irrigate the sugarcane so that we can be assured of a sustained supply of sugarcane throughout the year. Even the old commercial factory, now they had their own sugarcane plantation. For it to undergo maintenance was 3 months. Now this machine, you are saying that is an advance from what we had there, and the capacity is also higher. So in those olden days, 3 months, why this time we need 6 months? And if it will undergo routine maintenance, you should produce for 6 months, then it undergoes maintenance, routine maintenance for under 6 months. But it did not produce, and it was undergoing routine maintenance. Now, an investor coming, what will motivate somebody to come and put his or her money into this? That you don't have your own source of sugarcane, and these farmers who are planting sugarcane on their own cannot be relied upon. Right. They cannot be relied because even the agronomic practices for which they are going to put in place to produce cannot be the best, because they have to apply fertilizer and those things, and the cost. And you cannot tell me that for a ton of sugarcane, the cost of labor factored in, for other agricultural input, then you pay me 60 cedis. That is not even motivating enough for people to go into production of sugarcane to feed the factory. You said you are putting up fish processing factory in Elimina. Yes. As we speak, we cannot even meet our own demand for fish in this country. We are importing fish to supplement what we produce, the small amount. About 40% is being imported. So if you are not self-sufficient in terms of fish production, you only process when you have excess supply. So what the very raw material that you are going to use to feed the factory is not there. And as I told you, per the statistical figures, we are registering negative growth with the fishing industry under John Dramani Mahama on several occasions. So what are you going to process? What are you going to do? An NPP, we put up a cold store at Kromanti. Since 2008, 2009, it has become a white elephant. But we don't have the excess that we can store so that we use when there's a shortfall. So what is the essence of putting up Commander Elmina Fish Processing Factory? So, Echo, what I have observed with President's talk tells me, and people have seen that the President and the NDC have been rejected by people of Central. In Abra, they were calling people to, in the night, I followed them to at the back of Barclays Bank. That's where they had their original office previously, before moving to the new place. They had a rally there. If it were to be olden days, the kind of people that will come and listen to the NDC, they are fisher folks. Go and see. And the regional organizer was on platform saying, they have been rejected. They have been rejected. President went to Gomwa.
Okay, we will come back to the studios. Let's go for a quick commercial break. Viewers, we will be right back. Welcome back. This is your most popular show, Minority Caucus. My name is Eko Vincent. We are joined by lawyer Alex Aban. He is the parliamentary candidate for Gomwa West. Honorable, welcome.
Thank you.
I'll get back to you. Let me read some few messages from viewers. We will bury the dead goat on 7th December. He told us that we have short memory. We are to use the dead goat for soup, and that is all about dead goat syndrome. Bulo from Murugu. Okay, right. Thank you for the message. The only solution to end Dumso is to vote Mahama and his government out of power by Prince Yusuf. Okay. Good evening to you all. I am Ras Arafat from Moshi Zongo. In fact, we, the youth, have lost interest in John Mahama's government and his bad policies. Almost everybody is suffering in this country. We vow to vote against John Dramani Mahama. I am therefore joining the NPP with an immediate effect.